are here. We are here.
Yeah. We are here and we are live.
Yes, yes. So thank you for joining. This is the extension of my radio show, Shifting the Atmosphere, but we take it live now on Be Live TV, and I bring some of my exciting guests on, and we do a little unscripted thing, which is fun. So I am happy that you guys are all here with us. We've got Miss Michelle Hammond, and this is still a little me getting myself together on this platform. It's like the fourth one I've done. And I'm also uploading these to YouTube because we're going to get a whole nother audience from that. So this has been really good stuff. And today we really wanted to talk about relationships. We wanted to finish what was supposed to be impromptu 5-minute discussion that turned into an hour.
It turned, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It turned into a darn hour. So Lord knows how long we're going to be here, folks. You better get your lunch. Or whatever. But we're going to talk about it. It is. No, I don't know. It's like I activate you or something. It's like I'm an igniter.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's like you push this go button. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here?
And I love it. And Michelle is joining us all the way from Ghana. And so we were a little late because there were some technical difficulties on the time zone changes. And that's all my fault. I'm learning. I'm starting to get a little international, so I'm learning. And yeah. But we got here. We are here, and everything is up and running. And now we see people joining, which is really good. Glad people are jumping on here because we got a hot topic. There was a person that we had on before, and I'm going to check I'm going to keep checking my phone because for some reason I missed some of the comments in here because I missed them last time. So I got both things going. So I'm not going to miss anybody's comments. But we had somebody on for the whole show, and she must have asked 3 times, and I never saw it in the feed until after we uploaded it. She wanted to know your thoughts about online dating. And I can guarantee you there's probably lots of people on here that are going to be joining on here that want to know your thoughts on online dating. And Lord knows you can use me as a guinea pig, because I had all kind of experience and just pulled myself off for personal reasons. But Michelle, what are your thoughts around online dating and having a kingdom mindset and all those good things we're going to talk about today? But the online dating.
Yeah. Online dating, I'm not such a big poo-pooer of it, but I think that there are rules for online dating. Mm-hmm. I think that you have to exercise the same caution that you would when you meet someone in person.
Yeah.
And I think that the extra thing that has to be added on here is don't give your heart away online. You can paint yourself to be anything you want to be online. So you need to meet that person in real life. You need to still do all the fact checking. Like we talked about, dating is not for mating, it's for collecting data the last time we were on.
Yeah.
You still need to collect all that data. I mean, because there are people, they can write really well, and then you get in front of them and they don't talk so good.
Yeah.
Or the chemistry isn't there. And chemistry still is important.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a kingdom.
Somebody said hi to us. Gwen said hi. Hi, Gwen.
Gwen. How are you? Yeah, so I think that what online dating does is it broadens the playing field for you to meet a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And part of finding a mate is the numbers game. It is, meeting and greeting a lot of people before you get there. Not necessarily all the time, but one of my favorite books is by Dr. Henry Cloud. And he talks about getting your numbers up. And that means really what he's trying to do is get you open so that when you meet people, you're friendly. You're approachable. And so the friendlier you learn to be in passing without having to commit to every person you meet, it makes you more open and susceptible to actually attracting the love that you want. Yeah. So it's a really good point to be, what's the word? I think that a lot of times let me put it this way. I think a lot of times when we become Christians, in our effort to stay holy, we kind of cordon ourselves off.
Yeah.
Women do it, men do it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're just walking with a pack and a gang of females all the time, or a pack and a gang of males all the time. Right. And after a while, you don't even realize that you've become uncomfortable with the opposite sex because you're not exchanging with them as much. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important, unless you've got a bunch of male friends and so you're still comfortable in that male zone, then that's okay. Mm-hmm. But the online world opens you up to being able to meet a lot of different and interesting people. And I think that if you approach it from, I'm just going to make some new friends. And if one of them happens to single themselves out of the group and become a potential mate, that's great. But in the meantime, I'm just having fun making friends. My brother met his wife online. And they were good friends for a couple of years before they got together. So I think that they took all the right steps, in forming a friendship, because I still believe that you should marry your best friend. So if you're meeting people online and you're becoming friends and you know their family, you know their other friends, and you've done all your homework. What did we say last time? What are the things we're looking at when we're dating and not mating? Is we're looking at fabric, fit, and finance. Okay. What is this person made of? What cloth are they cut from? Are they marriage material? Then you're looking at fit. Do their life visions and things about that passions that burn bright in their heart, do they complement where I'm going in life? And do I complement where they're going in life? Because it's not fair for them to just be a blessing to you and you not be a blessing to them.
Right. And you're not necessarily, you're marrying for later. You're marrying for the long haul, not just
right. Exactly.
We had a couple more people join us. We got Jerry here, and we got Yolanda and Zimara. Hi, you guys.
Hi. I'm not seeing everybody on screen, but
I know that's why I got this rolling, girl. I learned last time.
Okay, cool. And I don't have my tech guy with me here today, so I'm not getting to see it.
I got it.
Okay, great. But so then fit, fit is, finance is important too. What's the relationship costing you? Mm-hmm. It might exhaust your love budget. So fabric, fit, and finance, these are things that you really have to take a look at when you are, hey, Geraldine, how are you?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jerry.
Hello, she says. So, these things are very, very important. So I think that you've got to do your homework, just like if you met the person in person. That's it.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, and we want you guys to ask questions. So we're just kind of roll with this. But if you have questions, go for it. Hey, Sonia. Sonia's joining. And Sonia,
one more thing, Frederica,
tell me.
That I think is important to note with kingdom women in online dating.
Yes, yep.
Is I believe that because I believe you should not choose the man should choose you. I think that it's okay for you to post, but I don't think you should pick. I think you should still allow yourself to be chosen, even online.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like that. I've got to tell you, and Sonia, actually, she just joined us. She was the one that asked this question. So we're all over it, Sonia. So, so the thing I will tell you, I have done, and I'm going to use myself as a guinea pig. I'm going to throw myself out here, and anybody can jump in that wants to jump in. But I am really not an advocate of online dating, but I got to tell you, things have been really stale for many years. And what person that I used to be prior to Christ, that was never a problem for me. I've always had plenty of activity, but I think we talked about that before. I just, once I got saved, it was kind of like God shut the doors, nobody could see me, and I could have walked around with a bowl in my head and nobody would have paid attention. Right. And so what I started over time, I decided, okay, I'm going to try online dating. And off and on, I jumped on eHarmony and I jumped on a couple of the other sites. But eHarmony was probably my big one, which I loved how they had all the screening, which they've done away with now. I wasn't meeting that many men on there either. And so recently I had decided, a few years had gone by and I hadn't been dating. And I said, to your point, I am not even used to being around male company now. I have got to get out here and start meeting people, and starting my own business. It's even worse because I'm working 24/7, and I know you know what that is. And it's really hard to meet people. And then when I am out, I'm on. I'm like on with whatever it's radio or whether it's the book or whatever it is, I'm on. And so it's not necessarily a good environment to meet romantically. And so I decided I'd gotten a recommendation by somebody to join a website, which was free. And I said, I don't know about that because I just don't know who's on there and so forth. So I joined it. I can't even tell you. I was so inundated with requests. Lord have mercy. I met so many men on there. I got so many phone numbers and nice guys, jobs, decent looking. I wasn't going on any dates though and that was on me because I wasn't calling because my screen was, do you love Christ the way I love Christ? I just want to see kind of your conversation, how you look at life, how you see things. And when you're real sensitive to the spirit, there's a lot of things that'll jump out at you about people. And so when I tell you I met a lot of men, at least 30 online, but I never went through. Girl, we'll talk after. We're going to talk after because I'm not going to do any. I ain't going to do no free promotion here. That's where you get blamed if you meet somebody crazy. Don't be blaming it on me.
That's true.
But anyway, so I did meet a lot of guys. And recently I was talking with somebody that I really was really having a good vibe with, but I knew my schedule, where they lived, and I wasn't seeing that God factor like I wanted to see it, but everything else was good. And so for me, that's always been my filter. But I'll tell you this, the experience was phenomenal because every day I had like 2 or 3 connections. In the beginning, it was like 10 or 15 a day. It was crazy. And the most of them weren't really my, going to fit, but it was good having a conversation. And the confidence level in me and the just the awareness of how I'm coming across and what men are attracted to and how to communicate with them was so key. I did it for like 6 months and loved it. And I reluctantly jumped off fairly recently because now I'm becoming a little more public and I'm starting to do public seminars. And I'm like, yeah, how embarrassing would that be? Somebody I never responded to shows up at this women. So I said, all right, we're going to have to shut this down. And there's kind of somebody in the wings anyway that I've been vetting out. We'll talk offline. And been vetting him out.
Here's a funny thing. I was hosting a television show when Harmony won.
Yeah.
And so one of my assignments was to go and do a program about eHarmony. And so I went and interviewed Dr. Bill Clark Warren. He was the one that started a Christian psychologist.
Yeah.
The parents were the ones who did all the screening questions and everything. They're Christian psychologists. So I got to meet all of them. And so Dr. Neil Clark Warren says to me, "Oh, you're difficult. It'll probably take us about 2 years to get you a match." And I was like, what? What? He says, "You're a beautiful, confident woman. It's going to be a piece of work." So I was like, okay. So, they put me on. They put me into the program because that was part of the story was, how I fared on this thing. And so I got all the way to
Oh, what happened? Uh-oh. Okay, she's coming back. Oh, there we are. Something happened.
Yes. I don't know. Might have been an internet fluctuation. I'm in Ghana, so that could happen.
Yeah.
If it goes black, then that means it was lights out, girl. That's all I'm going to tell you. Hang in there till they come back on.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, but so at any rate, he said that he couldn't date a black woman because he had children and he had to think about their welfare. And I said, well, how are you raising them that this is going to be an issue with your children? So that was kind of a little sting. I hadn't bargained for all of that, but so it had to be part of my story that I got all, because at the time they did not show the picture till you passed all the other stops. There were sets of questions you had to answer. And then they decided if you continued. I think they've loosened up a bit now. I haven't been back on, but
it's very loose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think it's sold. It's been,
That's right.
Yeah, it's been sold. So she's saying lots of interference. Where are you? Because I've got a clear picture of Frederica.
Me too.
Do you have a clear picture of me?
Yeah.
So it might be her internet provider. But anyway, yeah. So it ended up not being such a pleasant experience for me, and I kind of swore off of it. And then a friend of mine tried to get me on one of the other ones, but they were just all crazy people. I would get I wondered what was in my profile that was attracting crazy people. So I was like, oh no. But sometimes that happens,
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I know I got a couple of those. I actually had I had one of those folks, and this is something I would tell people to watch out for when they're online. But I had someone that was, what they call them, they were somewhere in Africa or wherever, and they were trying to get you in there so you send them some money.
Yeah.
They get you off. Don't go offline and start talking to people until you know who they are. And if they don't answer your question, if somebody says they have a doctorate degree, What man do you know that won't talk about their doctorate degree, that just wants to talk about relationships? Give me a break. You know, you got to use your common sense on these sites. I don't care how good he looks, you know?
Absolutely. And do your background checking. You know, you can Google people and find out all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, I've got an invitation to speak.
If they give you the right name, because some of them
Exactly. And make sure they look like they say they look, because sometimes they post pictures and then you meet them in person. It's like, what? You know, I've heard all kinds of horror stories.
Oh my God, Lord, I have stories. Lord, don't even get me started.
Yes,
but I know we've got a lot of people on here now. Do you guys, Sonia? I know we're delving into your question about online dating, and I got Joy here. Joy, you've been really interactive. What questions do you have for us, or any topic that you want us to talk about? That's what the beauty is of this live TV, is that you guys kind of can drive the direction of the discussion. So we would love for you all to get involved. So, I mean, me and Michelle can carry on, but we're going to keep looking for comments because we want to definitely hear what you might want to talk about. And I know there's a few people out there. Z is out there, and we've got Gwen out there. I think Yolanda was out there. So we want to hear if you have any questions. But so what would you say, Michelle, is probably the biggest benefit of dating online? And I know you said it's really that conversation, but is there anything else that you can think of that's a benefit?
Well, I would say that it just opens the playing field wider. See, here's what happens.
Yeah.
When we're in school, when we're in college, you have a community of people that you get to meet constantly.
Yep.
You're passing people on campus. There's all kinds of activities you're involved in. So the playing field is a wider playing field where you get to interact and meet a lot of different people. When we leave college and we get into our roles as entrepreneurs or business people, the routine becomes the same. Yeah. You go to work, you go to church, you go home. You go to work, you go to church, you go home. You have dinner with a friend, but that's a friend that's already an established friend, and you go home. So where do you meet all these new people unless you're the friendly kind that, you know, says hi to people at other tables, which most people don't do. So online dating opens the playing field again and puts you back in college in a sense, because now you become part of a pool of people that are looking for other people. And so it gives you a wider pool to draw from and meet new people, which you would not ordinarily meet in your daily routine. Yep. That is the positive. Yeah. The negative is that you got to do extra homework now. Yeah. Because the virtual world is very different from the real world. Mm-hmm. And so you've got to really make sure that you do your background checks, that when you first meet that person, you meet in a very public place. Yep. There are just extra precautions that you must take and find out as much about them as you can before you allow them in. The Bible says to guard your heart with all diligence, because the very issues of life and death flow out of it. The choices you make come out of how your heart feels. Yeah. So we don't want you wounded by some crazy person you met online and you didn't do the homework to know that they were cray-cray. Yeah, that's the truth. And don't keep it from your friends. It's just like when you're dating somebody else, you know, that you meet on the street. Keep people engaged and involved, because sometimes we can get we get so out there in what we think and our fantasies and everything, and you could be chatting with a mass murderer. So you just need to make sure you keep people involved that are going to keep you grounded, and that one friend that gets on your nerves but keeps it real with you. You want to make sure that person is involved as well. So, and you know what? I would even say, when they invite you to, you know, have coffee or something, say, okay, you know, I'm going to bring a friend and her boyfriend. Make it a double date. What it does then is it gives you a greater comfort level, because you don't have to be focused on just one person, and you can just be yourself with people that already know and love you. And they can also be eyes and ears for you to check him out and be the radar that you can't be while you're busy talking and checking out how that person is. Yeah. So I think that's a great way to go. And I think a lot of people don't think about doing that, but I think it's a good option. That's a good option. I love that. And so I want to talk about the kingdom mindset. Let's go back there, since nobody's jumping on this, right? So, and I know we've got married people on here, as well as people that have been divorced and people that have never been married. And all three of those dynamics are different. And so in talking about a kingdom mindset, what would be the thing that you would want to
Okay, wait a minute. We got a question here. Sharon
Are
Kim.
you good men online? Yes, good.
Yes, the research. Yeah, absolutely. The research is critical. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Sharon. So when you're thinking about a kingdom mindset, how does that look? I mean, I don't want to ask the huge question, but all different dynamics, but what does that kingdom mindset look like when you're looking at relationships, whether you're looking to find someone or you're courting someone now, or maybe you just got married, those scenarios are pretty similar in some respects. So what's your thought around that, the kingdom mindset?
Well, I think that the kingdom mindset when it comes to relationships is that you view your relationships and is this good for the kingdom at large, as well as for myself personally. I think that God was very strategic in couple making. He selectively put people together because he knew in his mind what he was going to have them do that would affect the kingdom. When he hooked up Esther to the king, it was because he needed somebody in position to save the nation. When he brought Rachel to Isaac, or was it Rebecca? I'm delirious. It's late here, but you know who I'm talking about. When he put people together, well, first couple, I will create a help meet for Adam. Now, we don't like in modern day to talk about the fact that the woman is created for the man.
Yes.
But in kingdom mindset, you have to remember that the woman is created for the man and both of you are created for God. So everybody's created for somebody else other than themselves.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. So so we serve a greater purpose when he puts us together. So that being the case, what does he want me with this person for?
Yeah.
What does he want to accomplish with my relationship? This is what I have to think about.
What is that noise?
It's my dog playing with her toy. 1 second. Oh my God.
Oh my, what in the world is that noise?
Stop it. I'm going to give you another toy.
That is hilarious.
This is the culprit.
Oh, hey there.
Layla. Anyway, so as I was saying,
yep.
God wants to accomplish something through couples. He wants to make himself look good through them. And he wants to accomplish some things. Some couples are power couples for the kingdom in a ministry kind of way. But every marriage is a ministry because somebody's watching to see if love can really work. And when love really works, they go, how do you do it? And when you say, well, God is at the center of my marriage, they go, I need to know that, God, so my marriage can work. So from that perspective, God knows who will fit together and make love look good and make him look good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So some couples don't make God look good. They don't make themselves look good either.
Right.
But when you put people strategically together that jive, that harmonize, that complement one another in the way they do life and love together, that's a score for the kingdom. So every couple is not a ministry couple in the sense of they're pastors of a church or anything, but they're still in ministry from the aspect that they make love look good and they make God look good. And since God is love, it's all inclusive. Mm-hmm. And that becomes a witness that draws somebody to the kingdom because the relationship is working so well. So that is God's strategy for putting people together. And when we look at ourselves in kingdom mindset, the choices we make of who we end up with have a lot to do with that. Am I going to make God look good in this relationship? Mm-hmm. Am I going to function at a higher level and be and live to my highest potential in this relationship? All of these things are questions that you ask yourself. It can't be based on, oh, I met him and when I saw him, bells went off. And, you can have chemistry with 10 people. You know that?
It's not about feelings all the time.
It doesn't mean that all those 10 people are for you.
Yep.
It could be it's just, something in your gut and in your psyche and in different parts of you that set off different combustible chemicals, And it's very scientific that there's a oxytocin that's released in our system when we fall in love. And it stays active for about a year before it fizzles out. And that's why a lot of people start saying they fell out of love. because they didn't stir it back up. The Bible says stir it up. Okay. In Song of Songs, she said, don't stir it up until it's time. So that suggests that you have to stir it up. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that song? Stir it up.
Right.
Little darling, stir it up. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, so when we think of kingdom mindset, we got to think about, is my relationship going to make God look good? It's not just about how I feel.
Good. That's
we walk paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Yeah.
And we love who we love for his name's sake too.
Yes. And Gwen said, say it. Gwen said, say it. She said she agrees. You have to guard your heart. Thank you, Gwen. You're right. I think our purpose is tied up. I think our full purpose is tied up in our mate.
Yes.
Right? And if you choose the wrong mate, you really can get off course. You can live out a life of purpose. Don't get it wrong. But I think that there's an ultimate purpose that we have. We were created with special gifts and talents and abilities. And even the man that he has for us, it will activate. Just like Michelle and I were talking about earlier, how when we get to talking, there's something about that. It activates something.
Exactly.
So I think God had a purpose for us connecting. Even that 10, 15 years ago, he knew that this time was going to come. And it's going to activate something else, right? Exactly. We don't know where it's going, but I believe all relationships have a purpose. And I believe they have a season too. See, everybody's not been brought into your life to marry. And they sure ain't been brought into your life to sleep with. We won't go there, but that can, right? They can knock us off course. But I do believe the man that God has for you, there's so many unspoken things. It's not about a feeling.
Yes.
It's spiritual. Somebody had said that to me, a very wise mentor that I have, an older woman. And she said to me, it is not about a feeling. Although we know those come into play, it's about a spirit. And when you are really, really sensitive in your spirit, meaning you're in your word and you're prayed up and you're doing those things, you're worshiping and you're surrounding yourself with people and things that are of God, not completely. I mean, we're not going to lit a bottle, but we want to make sure we acknowledge who we are in the spirit. And that makes our spirit sensitive.
Exactly.
God's not going to bring you the one until you're ready to receive it. Why would he give his man or his boy or, his daughter or his son junk? Why would he do that? Right. If we're not, because it's going to hurt each other. We're going to hurt each other. Right. And so we can get tied up with the wrong one thinking that's God. And you will realize before you hit the altar, something's not right.
That's true. And you know what? But a lot of people won't back out at that point because, they paid for everything and they go through with it and hope for the best. And it ends up being the best of a mess, Yeah. And then, or sometimes it's also interesting how misused the phrase is, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. Because there's a whole lot of folks putting them.
We are Michelle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're back.
Miss Monique says it's true. Yep, we dropped off for a minute, you guys. Sorry about that. We've got a little technical difficulties. We're gonna keep going. Yeah. Michelle's in Ghana. I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Yes, I'm in Ghana, and internet fluctuates and lights might go out. So I'm just warning you ahead of time. But what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I started laughing. Lord today. But I was saying what God has put together, let no man put asunder. And a lot of people put themselves together and then God gets blamed for really bad relationships. And it's a very sad thing, but we have to really, really be careful with that we have to remember that we have free will. Yep. God is not going to stop you. When Adam named those animals, God didn't change it.
Yep. Hey, Cookie saying, oh, yeah. Okay.
God did not change one name that Adam named. And so if you want to name the frog a prince, he will let you name the frog a prince. Okay. And then later when you find out it's a frog, you can't blame God because he probably tried to tell you, hello.
Yes.
It's really a frog.
Yes.
You said, I wanted to be a prince. Do you understand, God? I wanted to be a prince.
Yes.
Okay, then it's a prince. Let's see how that works for you. Let me know when you get back, So we have to really, really, really keep an open heart. I met a guy. Oh, he was gorgeous. He was romantic. He was everything I was looking for. And he was doing and saying all the right things and kind of bum rushing me a little, which made me a little shell shocked. But at the same time, I thought, well, maybe God's trying to give me somebody and I'm so shut down, I can't really respond. So I went to God and I asked him, why can't I respond? Why is my heart not moved by all of this? I should be. All my friends thought I was crazy. They thought I should jump right in. They said, girl, go with the flow. Go with the flow. I said, I don't know where the flow is going.
Right.
Honey, a week later, I found out the guy was just bad news, like so bad news. I can't even get into it, but bad news.
Yeah.
So God, I was just so happy that I had grown up a little more and kept my heart submitted to God and not just flung it up in the air and expected this guy to catch it, because the fallout could have been really, really bad based on the things that I found out. So I think that it's very important at some point that we all woman up or man up, become very mature and careful with our hearts, protecting them because they're valuable. Yeah, they can recover, but why should they have to be shattered in the first place? I think a lot of times, especially if we've been by ourselves for a long time and somebody finally pays attention, we are apt to throw caution to the wind because we're so glad we're finally getting some attention that we don't do the necessary heart work and homework to know if that's the place our heart should be invested in.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Yeah, we've got a few people. All right, we got Miss Monique. She's saying yes, Lord. We got Rita with an amen. You guys have any questions? Do you have any discussion topics that are burning for you all that you want us to talk about? I know we got quite a few viewers now. And thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here with us today on Shifting the Atmosphere with Frederica and my guest, Michelle Hammond, which I know a lot of you know. What questions do you have for us? Because one I would ask you to kind of jump into a little bit, Michelle, is what are the warning signs? Because, you said something key, and I think that as Christian women, a lot of women can relate to the fact that the dry seasons happen a lot longer. We're doing things the way we need to be doing them. The dry seasons are a little bit longer in between relationships. And some of that is God trying to just get you got to heal up, got to get ourselves together. And that's the time we need to press into him, because being with him and really having this time to press into him is a blessing, even though we may not feel that way because we're lonely. But then again, those feelings are going. So what are some of the things that we need to be mindful of in that waiting process, or even in the preparation process to be a wife? That's probably a good question too. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I think that the homework on you is critical. Yeah, Frederica. I mean, a lot of people are waiting for someone else to come into their life and make life happen, or to give them affirmation and validation, or to complete them. We all love that scene in the movie when Tom Cruise says, "You complete me," but it is totally unscriptural. Okay, it's romantic, but it ain't. It's not. It doesn't really work. Yeah. No one should complete you. You need to be complete first, because two broken people or two people that got a big void just make a void and broken relationship. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important for you to be whole. So do your own heart work. Yeah. I always say your life should be the party someone wants to attend. And that's a person who's living a full life, a wealthy life that's rich with other relationships and rich with experiences. That makes you look like a very intriguing person to want to know. I feel like the term equally yoked is often, okay, we'll talk. You got the rest of the sentence, right? I can only see the beginning of it.
Yes, I feel like, that's Miss Monique. I feel like the term equally yoked is often misunderstood and or misused. That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to that in a second. I just want to finish this off by saying that, it's very, very important to be whole. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of work to do right there. Actually, the best place that you could be in is when you no longer care about if you have a relationship or not. Not from a sour grapes place, right? But simply your life is so full that, okay, that would be a great addition. But if it doesn't happen right now, I'm cool because I got so much on my plate. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's not I don't need a man. I don't want a man. It's none of that. There should be no edge to the statement, I'm okay as is. Yeah. It is, you are who you are in that state. And I think that you need to have good esteem for yourself. Mm-hmm. Notice I didn't say self-esteem, because I really believe in God esteem, us being appreciative of the creation that God created us to be, as opposed to being full of self. Some people say, I'm not selfish, I'm just full of self. Well, it's still the same thing. But I think that you have to have a healthy appreciation of who you are and who God created you to be, so that you know your worth.
Yeah.
You don't settle for less than God's best for you.
That's
Because
very
I find that a lot of people feel like they're cubics and they don't know that they're diamonds. And, you know, guys love church girls because they know that they're good women.
Yeah.
But women don't know their own worth when it comes to that. So
Yeah.
they get their love discounted and they get treated badly because they don't know their value. So it's very, very important to know your value so that that person comes into your life
Yep.
and has a sense that they've got to treat you according to the price mark on that God has put on your heart.
That's,
You know, a designer original never gets put on discount because it's an original. And every single one of you is an original.
yeah.
And so you don't get discounted. Love costs everything. Don't go with J-Lo on that one. Your love should not be for free.
Yeah.
God, that love cost everything. It cost him his son. It cost him everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person that wants to be in your life will give their all for you. Equally yoked. I want to get back to my sister's question.
Yeah. Yep. And we had a few other people join us. We have Suzanne here. We got Bernice joined us as well. Thanks for joining, you guys. Feel free to ask any questions you have. But go ahead, Michelle.
Is that my Bernice? Is that Bernice and the Lovely?
It's Bernice McCrae. She's from Christchurch. She probably remembers you too.
Hi, Bernice. I have Bernice and from Jersey. I think she always logs on usually, so I was looking for her. But anyway, to equally yoked, I think she's right, because equally yoked doesn't mean just two Christians. Because, you know, there are a lot of Christians I don't like. Come on, let's just keep it real.
Okay, all right.
I love them with the love of the Lord.
Here we go. Here she go. Here she go down this bunny trail. All right, girl. Here we go. It's on now, y'all. We can get warmed up.
But you know what I mean, right? I mean, all Christians don't get along. They're not all equally yoked. They come from different backgrounds. They come from different experiences. They'll never understand each other. As long as they're talking about Jesus, they'll get each other. But if you get off of the Jesus thing and get to any other aspect of life, they might not get along. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's okay. We are bonded together through Christ. But we have different experiences, and some things are just going to fit together better. And it is good for people of like experiences to get along with each other because they do.
It's very, very true. You may meet that man or that woman that is so super spiritual that, you know, wait a minute, God said we had to have eggs this morning. You know, this crazy stuff.
Right.
You know, wait a minute, you have on red. You know, that's a devil color. You know,
exactly. Or it might be a simple
out there that are like that, and God bless their hearts. Doesn't mean they don't love God, but that doesn't mean they're for you. Don't let that craziness seep in you. You know,
if they come and say, God said that you are my mate, if he didn't tell you, don't feel obligated.
Oh, because say that again, please, Jesus, because that is not the key to your heart. God said that you were going to be my wife. Well, there's going to be a whole lot of things you need to do to prove it, and then Jesus needs to whisper into mine as well. You know?
Well, we're in scripture that two people were involved. God spoke to both people.
Yes.
So if you don't hear, then that person just got you on their wish list, and they told God that, you know, you should make that person my mate. I've been there. I've been on the opposite spectrum of that, where I wanted someone to be my mate, and I believed that God said they were my mate, and they were not.
Right.
You know, so we have to be very, very careful. I think that's one of the most famous deceptions in Christendom. It's this whole God said you're my mate kind of person kind of thing that goes on, this syndrome. It runs rampant in the church, and it bruises a lot of people. So don't go there. You know, just very gently say to that person, well, you know what? I've got to wait till I hear from God, because we need to be in agreement on that. But we can be friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes they won't let you be friends, and then well, you're not allowing me to be your friend, so I got to cut this off. You know, it can fit to that as well. But the unequally yoked thing has to go past two people knowing Jesus. Because you could meet a wonderful man of God. He could be wonderful. You might be wired for travel and he hates traveling. Well, that's just not going to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him a bad person. It just means he's not the one for you. He's going to be fabulous for someone else who wants to stay home.
Yeah. No, it's the truth. And the yoking is the starting point, because there's other things that have to match your point. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, how can two walk together except they agree? And they need to agree on more than Christ.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And what do you feel about so thinking about the yoking and sticking kind of with that for a minute, give me some of your thoughts around wanting to date someone. And I know men and women do this. We actually have Monty Monty Blackmore join us. And he's an old friend of mine as well. He may know you from the church also, but people that are considering dating people that are not saved, but then they bring them to the church and maybe they get saved or whatever that is. Maybe they're not exploring God and looking for, feeling as if that this is a large pool for me to choose from. There's a lot of men or a lot of women out there that aren't saved, but they have good hearts, and I could bring her to Christ. She's got everything that I want. She doesn't love God. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, girl. What's your thoughts about that? I got my own thoughts about that, but this is your niche, not mine. But I'll chime in. But what are your thoughts about that?
Missionary dating can be a little dangerous.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save you.
I'm gonna put this up here.
Just the agenda is even a little off. That person needs to come to Christ because they want to come to Christ, not because they want to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that can really complicate things, and at some point, that person could stop pretending. Because a lot of people do it. You set the stage, and they will pretend that they're saved until they get you, and then they fall back into the practices that they had before. Mm-hmm. And you go, well, they changed or they backslid. No, they never came in the first place. They just said what you wanted them to say. So thank God when the person digs in their heels and says, no, that's just not for me. They're saving you from grief.
Yeah.
The Bible says not to be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. When we talk about yoking, if we think of the picture of that, it's two people carrying the same weight. And if one of those people is weak and the other one is strong, the weak one is going to make the strong one weak, because the strong one is not going to drag the weak one along. The strong one is then going to compensate. In those situations, you end up compromising more than affecting them for change. I'm saying that's across the board. There's a rare one every now and then that squeaks through unscathed.
Yeah.
The person actually comes to Christ and you didn't compromise and all of that. But for the most part, most people who are just human beings,
mm-hmm.
not beat you up, but you're just human, you end up compromising. And then you lose the respect of the person. You lose the respect for yourself, and you lose the respect for Christians, and you lose the respect for God. Going back to that word, he leads us in paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Yes.
Not your personal reputation that is at stake when we're talking about holiness. Holiness is the way we glorify God. What is glorifying God is giving an accurate reflection of what God looks like. So when we do things that are in our own flesh, hi, Sunday, I love you. That's one of my best friends.
Oh, hi, Sunday. Thanks for joining us, girl.
And we walked through some tough places together.
Here, girl.
Yeah. We walked through some tough places together, Sunday and I. And we both kicking and screaming. But, so there is that urge to give in. We've got somebody pressing your flesh all the time. I don't care how holy you are. You'll eventually fall off the bandwagon.
Oh, my gosh.
But
yeah,
he leads us in paths of righteousness mm-hmm. for his name's sake. Mm-hmm. So it is critical that even through the dating process, no matter what we're doing in life, that we always stop and think to ourselves, how does this make God look? Because at the end of the day, what happens when we sin, when we fall, when we go splat in front of other people, they go, thought she was a Christian, thought he was saved. All those Christians I like, they be talking all that yin yang, and look at them, they're no better than us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there goes the glory.
You're right. You're absolutely
there goes the glory. It takes away from God's shine.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because people will use that as an excuse not to do better and not to hold themselves accountable for actions. Nothing irritates me more than for people to point fingers about Christians not doing this and not doing that and whatever. Listen, The reason why we were seeking for more is because we knew that we were imperfect. The minute that we accepted Christ did not make us perfect. We struggle even more because we have a higher standard. We're more accountable. The only thing
we enter into the war too, so you struggle even more just from that. That now you're a target. But the irony of it is that even if the world doesn't want Christ, they know what Christ is supposed to look like.
That's the truth.
And they're looking for somebody to show them. They are looking for someone to live the standard, to know if it's possible. And that challenges them, and so we have to keep that in mind, that everything we do, everything we say affects the kingdom. It does.
It does. But we're not perfect. And there was once Jerry had a message here. I don't know how long ago she put it. Jerry, sorry we missed it. Some of this stuff isn't showing up in the feed here, which is why I got the phone going. Mm-hmm. But she said, there are times when the longing for a mate takes the place of our longing for God, which is wrong in the eyes of God, in a form of idolatry. God wouldn't bless until you have corrected that.
Can you repeat that again? There was a fluctuation.
Yep. So there are times when the longing for a mate takes place for our longing for God, and which is wrong in the eyes of God, right? And then she said it's a form of idolatry, and that God wouldn't bless it unless you've corrected that. He's not going to bless something that you're putting before him, I think she's saying in other words. So you're holding that person or that mate or that person that boyfriend or whatever that is above God. They're your God. I think your dog is saying amen. He agrees with what Jerry's saying.
Yes, I can. Layla, let me show you who's making all this noise. You see that?
Oh my gosh, look how adorable. Look how adorable.
Layla, look, she likes to watch TV with me sometimes. Look at her. She's looking at you. She says, I want to get back down and terrorize my brother. But anyway, so I think I'll keep her up here so she doesn't make noise. Oh, let me put her noisy toy down. Okay. So anyway, what I was saying is that I think that God waits for us to give our heart to him. He doesn't force us to give it to him. Mm-hmm. But it can hold up a lot of action, because if our heart is not submitted to him, we make terrible choices in who we give our heart to.
Yeah.
Because an unsubmitted heart is a desperate heart. There's really nowhere in between.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to, he lets us walk that out. Here's another one.
I just want to hug her. Oh my God.
This is Matisse. Say hi,
Matisse. Hi, Matisse.
So anyway, as I was saying, our heart condition controls our choices. That's the only reason that God wants our heart submitted to him, because when our heart is in his hand, he can guide it. And he can say, hey, he's not good for you. And we'll go, okay, I can let that go. But when our heart isn't there and he says, hey, he's not good for you, you go, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
You see the difference? And then, of course, it doesn't work. And we come straggling back to the throne room, all broken and crushed. And God, why'd you let this happen? And he says, I was trying to get to you. I've been trying to get to you. Won't you give me your heart? Won't you let me protect it for you? Yes. I know who's right for you. And it's not time yet. But if you just walk with me for a little while, we'll get there.
Yeah. So, yes. Uh-oh. We got a blip. Hold on. Michelle's got a little blip there in Ghana. She's on a roll too. Hang on. This is some good stuff. Sonia, we saw your question too, and I'm going to get there. We're going to get there next. So we got you. Just got to get Michelle back. She'll be back in a second. She'll be back in a second. So Sonia, I know your question was around, do you think that it isn't in God's plan for some people to ever get married? We're gonna get to that when Michelle comes back. I know she'll be back in a minute. She had a little blip there. We're coming. We're coming. Hang on, you guys. So where's everybody from? I got quite a few people here. I see Cassandra. Thank you for joining us. And we've got Sharon Gordon. And Ms. Monique, we've answered a couple of your questions. We thank you for your participation. And Sunday, we said hi. And Miss Rita. And Gwen. We're coming. All right, let's see if we get her back. If not, we'll have to continue this. All right, you guys. I'm only going to give it another minute or two, see if she can get back. Let me see if I can get her. New Jersey, we've got New Jersey in the house, I see. I know we got North Carolina in the house. I thank you guys for being patient. Technical difficulties are always a challenge. And I'm checking on her right now. Yes, we're still live. And yes, your camera's frozen. Michelle's still with us, but her camera is frozen. I don't know if you guys are seeing me, but I think you are because you're responding. I'm letting Michelle know you guys are waiting for her. She's coming. If not, we may have to come back with this later. We got San Diego. Oh, Sunday. I am trying to come to San Diego. It is cold and rainy here in New Jersey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Miss Monique is in New Jersey. Thank you for being here, you guys. Thank you for hanging in here and waiting on Michelle. She's trying to refresh her screen so she can come back. For those of you that don't know, I have a radio program that comes on Mondays, and this is just an extension of that radio program. I had Michelle come on a couple of months ago, but I just started the TV program about 2 weeks ago now, but we're going to be doing an after show after the radio show once I get all caught up, probably after the summer. But we'll be doing this once a week, usually on Wednesdays, but you'll have to like my Shift in the Atmosphere page, and then you'll get notifications when I have guests scheduled and then when we go live. So for those of you that are enjoying this, I really, really, really appreciate you guys joining in and supporting us. We had quite a few viewers today. But yeah, like the page and it'll let you know when we're going live. I've got more folks coming up. I've got my buddy Tamara Causley Robinson coming up in a few weeks, and she's going to talk about understanding how to get to your why, what your purpose is. Got a lot of folks coming up around that. And I've got Rita. Hey, Rita. And you met me at Christchurch. Oh, my gosh. Okay. My mind is going. I'm trying to remember who you are. I got to click on you so I can see your face. But if I do that right now, we are going to get knocked off. So I don't want to do that right now. But thanks for joining, Rita. And Tanya Jeter, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you are tuning in and liking what you're hearing. And Gwen, thank you so much. We're hanging in here. All right. I'm not sure what's happening. Her internet, her router shut down. She's rebooting. So if you guys can hang in here for 5 more minutes, she will be back. She will be back. She's coming. I told you guys are hanging in here. I know we've lost a couple folks. Can't blame you. It's kind of tight. But I know you've had some good relationship questions going on out there too, which is great. Loving that. So for those of you that may be in transition right now, I think we got her back. Wait a minute. All right. We lost some people.
I told you.
They were hanging in here with you, girl. We lost a couple.
Thank you for your faithfulness. That's Ghana for you.
I'm thinking like, what am I going to talk about? Because I usually talk about transition and, life stuff. And I didn't want to go off on a whole other tangent because you were on a roll. So,
Oh my God.
they are still here.
Yes.
Rita, I know who you are, Rita. Hi, Rita. What's up, girl? Mwah. Sending you a big kiss. She was trying to remind me who I was. I know who Rita is now. All right, we are back. And I don't remember what you were talking about, but I think you got cut off with Sonia's, might have been Sonia's question. We were getting there soon. But do you remember what you were talking about? I think it was about submitting to your heart. And
yes, I was saying that when our heart is submitted to God, and he says that person's not good for you, you go, okay, cool, and you move on. But when your heart is not submitted, you go, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make him love me. I'm going to make it fit, And then it's a setup for heartbreak. So a submitted heart is a heart that controls its choices and can let go of whatever God says to let go of. And that's critical, because a lot of times we get started and we don't know how to let go when it's time to let go.
Yes. Now
here's the signs. Our friends are telling us to let go, and we still can't let go.
We still hanging on, kicking and screaming. Break up. I don't know. I'm going to bring up that movie. I can't even think of the name of it. When the guy gets hooked it's a pimp. He gets hooked to the back of a bumper and they drag him around and oh my God. Anyway, now I'm thinking all my violent stuff. So never mind, everybody. It's one of those blaxploitation movies. I can't even think of what it is.
Oh gosh.
Stuff like that. But anyway, we want to make sure we get Sonia's question, because we missed her last time and she asked another good question. And she says, do you think that it isn't God's plan for some people to ever get married?
Yeah, I think that that's true. I think that it's either God's plan or it's the reality of life. The Bible tells us in Isaiah that in the last days, 7 women will cling to one man and say, give me your name and we'll take care of getting our own bread. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that. We have things that have been set in motion because of sin in the world that have caused a man shortage. By the time you look at people that are gay, look at people who are in jail, look at people who have died in war, it shortens the list of choices. So I think that we're approaching that time where, there's just not enough. There's just not enough people to make everybody. But I believe that if that's the case, again, the beauty of a submitted heart is that a submitted heart is joyful at all times and doesn't miss that. You know what I mean? Because it's filled with other things. So it's important for our hearts to be submitted, so that if God wants to put someone in our lives, it's great. But if no one comes, it's still great.
Yep. That's a good one. And so here's the question, though. For people that may have been called to not be married, how do they handle that physical piece? The kiddies are up, but I don't think they're watching. How do they handle the physical piece, Michelle?
Well, I think, though, that those kinds of people are eunuchs for Christ. If he's got a plan for their lives, for them to be that way, he makes it all right with them. I don't think that God is into torturing people and saying, you're going to be this way, but you're going to just have a terrible time while you're at it. No, I don't think so. I know a girlfriend, she actually thought she was a eunuch for Christ. She didn't care about getting married ever. She didn't have any issues with being celibate or anything. She ended up getting married, but she was totally cool with everything. So I think that God can make it all right. Again, I think it's key. The submitted heart piece is key to this conversation. You might say to me, Michelle, do you want to get married? Sometimes I think so. I am so submitted at this point that it's kind of like, I would be more inspired to want to be married if I met someone I decided I just want to be with this person for the rest of my life. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that that's a good place to get to, where it's like, marriage is not my constant goal. It is, the marriage becomes the goal when I meet someone that inspires my desire for it. Does that make sense?
Yes, I like that. Say that again. That was
marriage. Marriage is not my lifetime goal. Marriage becomes the goal when I meet someone who inspires my desire for that. Literally someone comes into my life and I go, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. Until then, why do I need to be sitting around worrying about getting married? Getting married to who? Getting married to what?
Yeah, you're right. And it's not just to anybody. And so what you going to do about it? You got to wait till God releases that thing. And it's time for you. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Ishmael is on the horizon, honey. Ishmael is.
Yeah, and it's just self-torture. It's just, but here's what happens. Most of us that are single have to admit that on most days when we get up, we're okay with being single.
Yeah.
Because we've got a full plate. We've got a lot going on. And if there was somebody in your life, you wouldn't know where to put them right now anyway. Because that'd be one more thing you have to do, right?
Girl, you got your hands.
So let's get that out of the way. So now, why is it such a rush the rest of the time for us to be married?
Yeah.
Because society tells us we should be married. Mm-hmm. Your family tells you should be married. In your own mind, you think something's wrong with me because I should be married. I mean, the world makes it look like if you have not gotten married, you haven't arrived. Yeah. And so it's really more about conditioning than actual personal desire for a lot of people, if they would just admit that. Do you want companionship?
Yeah.
Sure, you want companionship. But you know what? I have a lot of male friends.
Yes.
And I think women should have a lot of male friends. I do. Male friends should have a lot of women friends because it closes that void. I have different friends on different levels that are great companions for me. I'm just not kissing them and I'm not being intimate with them. Right. But they fill that male gap for me. There's that spirit of maleness that I think women need in their lives, and there's a spirit of womanness that men need in their lives.
Yes.
That you share and exchange on a different type of level. And they make you feel loved in a different type of way. So I think that that's important. I think it's critical. And that also lowers the bar of desperation. But as far as just this onslaught of, I've just got to be married, where did that come from? I think it's satanic. Yeah. Because who said so? I mean, when God's ready for, I remember one time I was traveling and a friend of mine says, when we get back to the room, we're going to pray for our husbands. I was like, He said, well, he says that every good and perfect gift comes from above and no good thing will he withhold from us. I said, well, I just kind of feel like if it was good for me right now, he'd give it to me.
That's, oh my God. That's so true. That is so incredibly true.
If God woke up tomorrow, not that he goes to sleep, but if tomorrow he decided, I think it's time for Michelle to be married.
Yeah.
He would present me to that man.
And that would be it.
And that would be it,
Because he doesn't withhold anything. I don't know that scripture. He doesn't withhold any good thing from them that love the Lord. He does not withhold it. It's just not your time.
Perfect yet.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's good, but it's not perfect for you yet. Yeah. Or it's perfect, but it's not good. I think that we've got to examine this thing on a whole other level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think that it's important to know you're okay. Mm-hmm. Can everybody out there just say, I'm okay?
Yes. Let's hear it. Let's hear it in the type it in. I'm okay. Sonia, type it in, girl. I'm okay. But I think some of it has to do with that physical clock that's going off. Listen, we have urges. God made us that way, unless we were chosen to be eunuch. I was not. But there are urges that we get, and it makes it very difficult. No matter how busy I get, that happens. But I have to submit that to God. That's a learned behavior, child. Submit to God, and I think that's where some of that question comes from. I want to be married because I don't want to burn in the flesh, and it says in the scriptures, do not. If you're going to burn in the flesh, then get married. The problem is women don't have the choice. We can't just walk up to somebody and say, it's time to marry us. There's a whole lot of other dysfunctional stuff going on with our men, which, you talked about that on the last, when we had our, we had our impromptu. So not everybody got a chance to hear it. We got a lot of folks on here. So I want you to talk about men and how that testosterone awakens every 72 hours, which would make them want to get married. But unfortunately, we got the harlots out there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not calling y'all a harlot because I can call myself a harlot. But unfortunately, they are able to quench that thirst. Let's just say that, since it's 4:00 in the afternoon Eastern time. And, and then it goes to sleep again. But I'm not saying it quite right. So I want you to just share that concept with everybody.
Well, I was saying that my mentor, Bunny Wilson, says that testosterone rises up and tells them, fool, get up and go find your wife every 72 hours.
Yes.
And so when we give it to them, it puts them back to sleep. The urgency for them to find the mate, the wife, is gone because So we say, why won't he wake up and smell the coffee? And it's because, well, you gave him the drink of the coffee. That's why. So.
All right, y'all listening to me. Are you listening to Michelle? Don't give him the cookie. Don't give him the cookie. Lord Jesus, he'll marry you.
Not after 30 days, not after 60 days, not ever till they say I do. Okay. That's just, I don't know where. I think Steve Harvey missed that part in the Bible. Wait 30 days to give him the cookie or something. Oh, Steve, where is it? What verse is that? Steve, chapter 3, verse 16. Come on now. You know better than that.
Oh my God. Listen, girlfriend, Gwen, I'm saying amen, Gwen. Gwen is saying she's not a eunuch either. Well, praise God. That's right.
Yeah.
We're not eunuchs. God sustains us. He really, really does. There's a lot of people that said they're okay.
Let's talk about what we do.
Yeah.
Because I think that we say, well, I got needs. And it's like, okay, let's talk about how do we funnel those things while we're waiting.
Yes.
Because I think that what happens is we allow that to become the excuse and it rules us. And I want to just encourage everybody that it's okay for you to have desires, but your desires should not have you. And I think that you've got to know if your desires are running you or if you're managing your desires. And I think that there are different things that we as grown women have to do to contain ourselves so that we're never in that place of desperation and we're not being ruled by our hormones and our desires.
Yep.
And the first thing is to be a true worshiper.
Yeah.
If I go to bed and I've been worshiping God, I don't think about those needs don't come up because there's a place in me that's filled in a different kind of way.
Yes.
The other thing is that we got to get physical. Let's get physical. Remember that? You got to burn that off somewhere because it's stored up energy and it's going somewhere. It's going to the right or to the left. So you've got to make sure that you do the self-work of burning off that steam, burning off those oxytocin things that start coming up and getting around your neck, work out, take that walk, dance around the room to your favorite song, do something, but you have to expend energy.
Yeah.
The other thing is continually feeding yourself on the word, especially some of us as we get older, it's got nothing to do with what you're thinking about or if there's somebody in your life or not. Your body seems to have a mind of its own. You wake up and you're at a party you didn't know you were invited to. It happens. Mm-hmm. And so it's very, very important to know your body, to know where your hormones are, to know your cycles and prepare yourself for that by the activity, by feeding yourself with the word so that your mind is stayed on him. It says that we're to cast down imaginations and high things that exalt themselves against the knowledge of God. That's against the knowledge of his word and his will for us to keep us in a certain place of sanity and sanctity. Mm-hmm. Sanity is your sanctity. Maybe that's why those words look so much alike.
Yeah.
And then walking in accountability with someone who's not judgmental, who just loves you. But you can keep the struggle real with them and they can talk you through it. It's like when you're losing weight, if you got to face somebody that's going to make you step on the scale, you stick to the program.
Yep.
But if it's just you to yourself, you might cheat, So it's very, very important to walk in accountability and just have that outlet of someone who walks you through those times without judgment, with love, but keeps you on point, Mm-hmm. So I think that we just have to learn how to refocus our energies.
Yep. No, I think that's really good. And the other thing I would say is, listen, we're human.
Yeah.
Guess what? If you do fall, don't use that as an excuse to continue falling.
Right.
Use that as an excuse to say, I'm going to do better tomorrow. Because sometimes that's a muscle that you have to build up because maybe you haven't been saved all your little life because I know I haven't. And so it's a muscle that I've had to build up. And then it also makes me realize, wow, we both love God. Shouldn't he be watching out for me in this area? And if he's not, okay.
Maybe. That's a conversation you need to have. And you know what? here's the thing. We gotta use wisdom when it comes to the men in our lives with this, and have the conversation. Because what I find is that most people just don't talk about it. They sail along till they fall into the pit.
Go to the pit.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm out.
My shoe. I dropped.
Right, and like ruins a relationship that could be a good relationship. Yeah. So why don't we live offensively in that area? Let us do the talk before it comes up.
Yep.
I'm saved. You're saved. I'm attracted to you. I hope you're attracted to me. Oh, you are? Cool. So then we need to have this talk, because if we don't, we're going to end up all over each other. And I want to help you honor God, and I want to honor you.
Yeah.
Not just as my potential partner, but as my brother or my sister in Christ. Mm-hmm. How would I treat my brother or my sister? Mm-hmm. So having that conversation, what boundaries are we going to set together to help one another stay holy before God, so that we can enjoy each other to the ultimate degree without any shame, without any having to. I don't want to ever have to be sorry about being with you.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Because it catches up. It does catch up.
Yeah, it does.
Catches up. Yeah.
So have the conversation. What limits and boundaries are we going to set to protect one another? Because if I really care about you, I have to protect you before God. Yeah. And I need you. I need you to protect me before God, because I can get a little crazy.
Yeah.
That way what happens is that man, I'm talking to the sisters at this point, that man doesn't feel judged. He doesn't feel put off. Yep. His masculinity is not derailed, because it depends on how we have this conversation.
Yeah.
As to how they feel and how they deal with you after that.
Yeah.
So it's important to keep their romantic side intact, their masculinity intact, but let them know that it's important to you to remain pure before God and before them. That heightens their respect and their desire for you without emasculating them or making them feel rejected. So it's a very fine line, because when they feel rejected, then they just clown and act up and act crazy. So we don't need them to feel rejected. We just want them to feel that we need to feel protected by them.
That's the truth. And here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is the painful one. This is the painful one. If he is not willing to do that, he is not the one.
Exactly.
If a guy is ready to drop you because you won't have sex with him, he is not the one. Sorry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might be fine. He might have a good job, all that, because I tell you what, that will all creep back up into your relationship when you get married.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
About being able to submit to God. If he can't submit to God in that area, and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that you got to go out and find the Pope, but if you can have the conversation like Michelle is saying, and he is open to it, then you're both working toward it. But if it's not even up for discussion, then he shouldn't be up for discussion to be part of your life. Not if you're a Christian and you're walking with God. And there's no compromising there. Really isn't.
It's very true. And the thing is, it ruptures the trust factor in your relationship.
Of course it does.
Because if you can't control yourself, what happens when I get sick? What happens if I got to take a trip and leave you at home? Yeah. What happens when you're at the office with that cute secretary I let you hire? Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, because I had a man tell me one time, this is so crazy. He said to me that, and there was another man that didn't agree with him, but a lot of people did agree with him. And he said that if she'll sleep with me, what makes me think I can trust her after we get married?
Yes, exactly.
Now, that's kind of ouch. I was like, what? What's that? No, I didn't agree. I didn't want to agree with it. But if that's how a guy is thinking in his mind, that's a problem to start off a marriage with. It's just
like when you sleep with a man on the first date and you say, I don't usually do this. How will he know?
I know. He's hearing what you're saying, but he's watching what you're doing.
What you're doing, exactly.
And a lot of times it's a test, I mean, don't even get me started with this. And I'm telling you, this is, bless you. And I'm telling you because I know this for a fact. And it was literally the reason why a lot of the people that I was meeting online, I was weeding them out because I knew I'm not strong enough. If this person isn't going to hold me accountable for us being accountable, we're not going to hold each other accountable. If I'm the only one that's going to be holding up this red celibate flag here, I'm not going to make it. Exactly. I'm not going to make it a week because I know me. And so
Yeah.
I just guard myself from that. And I know people thought that was so crazy. Like, look at all these eligible bachelors here. Are you kidding me? They're good looking. They have jobs. And you won't even go out with them. No, because I'm not even going to start this because I'm too busy. I don't want to entertain anybody that I know I can't go there with. That I'm not going to be able to move forward with.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Because we kind of want them to struggle. We kind of want to have the struggle to make sure that everything's okay. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because we got the download situation.
I know both want to run out of the room at the same time and lock the bathroom door. You leaving? I'm leaving now. Good. Leave, because we can't do this right now.
Exactly. Because I had a friend and her man was a little too cool with her not doing anything, and then later he was on the down low, so that explained it. So there's really that tension, that balance of the tension of he's having a struggle, but he's maintaining, and so are you.
That's exactly right. It's not to say that you both won't struggle. You will, but you're holding each other accountable because you're looking for the same goal and you have the same intention. Marriage. Exactly. You're not just trying to stay in a relationship for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's not going to work. Let's just be real about that. That is not going to work.
No, so when these people are dating for forever, I'm like, well, y'all in sin. I know, because
I just praise Jesus. I couldn't do it.
There is no way. I know I couldn't stay holy if I was dating somebody for years and years and years. So that just wouldn't work for me.
I ain't got that gift. If that's a gift, I ain't got it.
I don't got that gift.
Gwen was saying, what's she saying? Gwen, you were saying that it's why it's important. I'm going to show it. She was showing that, the relationships need to be healthy. Can you see it, Michelle?
Mm-hmm. So you know each other's heart. Friendship is fine, but you must have those boundaries in place when you both know you're attracted to each other. Be real. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's really, really key. And here we go again, Michelle. We have been on here for an hour and a half. I know that people are going, what in the world? These two, we're not having a conference. So we're...
Maybe we should at some point.
Maybe we should have a conference. Anybody in favor of a conference, please say yes.
Yes. That's too
Michelle and I could do something. We could throw something together on a Saturday morning pretty quick. I get some more men. We could get some men on here to hear from them too. That would be a good discussion.
Yeah, that would be great.
Different platform. We'd have to use Zoom, but we can do it. We can do it. So y'all thinking about that, let me know. But Michelle, as always, it's awesome having you on here, and I'm going to give you a minute to kind of wrap this up and tell people what your final thoughts are around this, and we'll have Michelle back on. I'm just saying, I think Michelle and I may have to get a monthly show going or something.
I'm telling you, at least once a month. I just,
Oh my God! The Michelle Frederica show.
Yeah, I'm telling you something. It's great. I love talking.
It's so much fun.
But I guess just in summing it up, for me, the thing that's paramount is the submitted heart.
Yeah.
And and that is a real. It is a sign of maturity, and the person who will feel best when you get to that place is you.
Yeah.
When you're submitted and you know that you're firmly in the hand of God and you don't have time to tolerate bad behavior and bad choices anymore in your life, you live a life filled with much more peace and joy. And that's whether you're single or married.
Yeah.
And all I want to say is that today is the day that the Lord made, and you should rejoice and be glad in it. Somebody didn't get up this morning. And you're still here. And you might not have everything in your life that you want or that someone that you want, but it's still a good day. You ate, you had a roof over your head, you had other great relationships happening in your life. So there's a lot to be thankful for. And I think that when we nurture a grateful heart, that it puts everything in perspective. And the things that you thought were bad don't look so bad after all. I think that we've got to learn to rejoice and be happy in whatsoever state we're in. And then the door opens to other opportunities. Because sometimes I think God is just waiting for us to settle one thing to move us on to another. If we can't master where we are today, there's no guarantee that you can handle the blessing that you asked him for.
That is very true. That's true. There's a process in getting us ready. That is really, really true. Yeah, I think that was good. Michelle, thank you for that. I know a couple of people, I was talking about the radio show. I put my website up so you can see it. It's shiftingtheatmosphere.net. Everything you want to know about the TV, the radio, me, it's all up there at that website. You can see what guests are coming up and how you can listen to the radio show and all those good things. I'll be back next Wednesday, and my guest next Wednesday, it would be good for me to know that, Michelle. My guest next Wednesday is, give me 2 seconds here. You guys don't know how many shows I'm juggling. I need an assistant. I just can't pay one right now. So if anybody has
and now you've got me started on all this stuff. I'm starting MMH school. You can go to my website to find out if there's something you want to take there at michellehammond.com. Just click on the MMH school button. And I've got a couple programs set up that Frederica actually inspired. So she's getting me into trouble. She's getting me into trouble here.
I love it. I love it. And I actually have a virtual class that's out there right now called Transitions with Frederica. And it's going to be the last class I have until the fall. The last one sold out. And it's going to be May 5th through June 5th through the 9th. You can register on my website, which is up on the screen right now. And it's virtual, so you can attend at a time of the day that works for you. And everything is self-study. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And my book is coming out the end of next month. So if you want me to come and speak at your event or at your church or at your school or at your whatever conference, reach out to me. You can reach me at shiftingtheatmosphere.net. It's going to be good stuff. Maybe I'll show up in Ghana. I'm going to show up in Ghana and do something with Michelle. You never know. Michelle may show up here in New York.
Everybody. I'm doing a retreat with Michelle in Ghana that they can be a part of if they like. So
that's awesome. I want to put your website up too.
Yeah.
Right up here. Go ahead, Michelle.
MichelleHammond.com and just click on the MMH school button and they're different. And one of them is a retreat with me in Ghana. I can only take 4 people at a time because I take you up to my home in Cape Coast and we have some personal coaching days together up there. But there's time built in for shopping and sightseeing and all of that. So
awesome.
It's going to be fun. So I think you need to come, Frederica. We need to do something together over here.
I know. We got to talk about it, girl. We got to talk. Once this book comes out, it'll be good timing. Maybe I will come on over there. Get some warmth and meet the puppies.
I'm telling you, it's hot.
Yeah, it's good. I love the heat, girl. As long as there's some water around.
Oh, yeah.
All good. All right. Well, we're going to sign off. I think we got 3 people left, and I don't think we have any more comments that we've missed. Thank you guys for hanging in there for this hour and a half. That was amazing. But it'll be up on the website, and I have a new YouTube channel. Just look up shiftingtheatmosphere.net, and it'll be there as well. Okay. Bye, everybody. Oh, my gosh. That was so much fun.